I wear more than one hat in this church. Earlier, I spoke as chair of the stewardship team, and now I speak as a worship associate. And these are my words for reflection for the morning. To begin, to all of you who attended the Stewardship Feeds UUCN event, lunch last Sunday, I'm sorry, I lied to you. I have been a member of this church since 1980, 36 plus years, not 31. Turns out that 5 years matters because over the last 5 years, my attitude to the place of this church, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Nashua, in my life has undergone a metamorphosis. Where once I was at best a dutiful pledger, I now pledge as a steward. I think of a steward as one who tends, nurtures, protects, manages for the future. Our worship theme for the month is identity. What does it mean to be a community of identity? I want to modify the question. What does it mean to have an identity as steward of UUCN? I am a lifelong Unitarian and was raised to understand that churches need our money in order to function. So when I joined here, I dutifully made my pledge each year. It was never very much in the 1980s, maybe in the $200 to $500 range, depending on the year. But it struck me as odd even then that that amount got me invited to a major donor event. I soon learned the conundrum of having an endowment, one that got tapped when member contributions didn't meet the needs of the budget. And thankfully, those years are well behind us. In those years, I pledged as a duty. It was what one did. From the year 2000 to 2013, I essentially checked out of UUCN. I made a pledge each year, probably in the $1,000 range, but I did not invest much time or energy or thought into the ongoing life of this community. And I have learned that I missed out on quite a bit that happened here in those years. To be a part of this community, you have to show up, attend services, participate in programs, rake leaves, help out at community dinner, go to the auction, maybe teach a class, and oh yeah, make a financial contribution. That is part of becoming a steward. In 2013, I started coming back and paying attention. I think it was Memorial Day weekend in 2014 that I went outside and saw for the first time our memorial garden. I had an overwhelming sense of relief. I knew I had found the place where I wanted my ashes spread. Please understand, I did not know I was worried about that particular thing, but I felt such gratitude for a solution to a problem I hadn't realized I had. And my sense of the importance of this place in my life got deeper. I need to assure its continued existence. In December 2014, Steve Hedges, member of the ministerial search team, gave a talk about the team's first failed search and about the financial realities we faced to get the quality of minister we wanted and needed. And I was inspired to consider my pledge more deeply. I realized to keep this a growing, vibrant congregation, a beacon of liberal religious thought, required more of me, of all of us who care for these buildings and these people and this faith. And about that time, Ellen Fisher asked me to join the stewardship team, and I agreed. The success of this church community matters deeply to me. In January or February 2015, Jamie gave an all-in talk, handing us each a poker chip. On Wednesday evening, Allison and Ann told me she still has hers. Do any of you still carry yours around? Jamie urged us all to be all in for that year's pledge campaign, and I was motivated to consider more deeply my pledge. The success of this church matters to me. In the fall of 2016, the social justice team made a decision that racial justice would be their focus issue for the next 18 months or so, with steps that include the Black Lives Matter banner you see behind me, and their ongoing educational programs, including suggested readings, the watch parties for the 13th, the documentary, and Ken Wagner's multi-part workshop, Being White in a Racist World, that starts tomorrow evening. In November, after the election, Allison led us outside with chalk to write messages of support for those who feared how the Trump presidency might impact them. And I felt called to consider more deeply my pledge. And Jen Morton and Michelle Morrison took a risk and rented 2 buses, which made it possible for more than 100 of us to board buses 2 weekends ago and ride to DC to stand on the side of love. And again, I felt called to consider my values and my commitment to UUCN. For me, pledging is no longer about duty, just an obligation of membership in a faith community. For me, pledging is now truly about breathing life into my values. I have grown, and yes, growth pretty close to 70 is possible. I realize I have become a steward of UUCN, a protector, a tender, a nurturer, a proponent of its continued existence. This is the place that calls me to my best self, that both nurtures and challenges me, that fills me up. My wish is that each of you might experience that same sense of deepening connection to what we are building here together. Thank you.